Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about battery calibrations, so that conversation is coming up. I'm sure many of you in the EV community have seen battery calibration methods and, degradation. So basically when it looks like your battery is degrading, but it's really just the battery needs to be recalibrated. So today we're going to try one of the methods I thought would work. And so to start, I have a 2018 mid-range Model 3 and the starting range for the car is 264 miles. But today, if we were to charge it to 100%, it only shows 218 miles. So that would be about 18% degradation if it were true degradation. But if you've learned anything about EVs, we know that the mileage number that you see on the screen is a calculation from the BMS. It's basically an algorithm based on various things, so it can only be so right. I've taken pretty good care of the car. I never really charge it to 100%. I've only done it a couple times, and that's really for road trips. And same thing with the under 20%. I only really let it go under 20% if I'm on a road trip and I need that range to get to the next supercharger. I also try to keep my car plugged in as much as possible, and I charge it to 90% as often as possible. So knowing all this information, I know that my battery probably needs to be recalibrated rather than it actually being actual degradation. From what I can tell, and from asking Tesla, I don't think they have an actual official battery recalibration method, because when I asked them, hey, my battery looks like it needs a calibration, what's wrong with it? They basically blew me off and pretty much just said your battery looks fine and gave me the whole spiel about how the BMS is an algorithm for the mileage number and it's basically guessing. I've seen various methods out there. The most popular one is to charge it all the way to 100% and then immediately drive it all the way down to like under 10% and then charge it back up to 90 and then it should be fine. But if you've been around YouTube for a while, since Teslas are a little bit older now, there are many videos out there, or at least a couple that I know of, where basically they've proven that this doesn't work. So I'm trying a different method today. It's similar to that, but not quite. So basically I'm going to charge it all the way to 100%, let it sit there for 3 hours, and then drive it as fast as I can down to under 10%, and then again let it sit there, let it sit at that SOC state of charge for 3 hours, and then charge it back up to 90%. So normally, if you've watched any EV videos, everyone says don't let it sit at 100% for more than 15, 20, half an hour if you're going on a road trip, because the electrons can't move inside the cell, and that's not good for the battery because that's how it causes degradation. But the methodology behind this is, if you've actually ever seen the car charge up to 100%, you'll notice that when you get to your car, there is still a little bit of voltage going into the car, and it's not actually fully charged to 100%. So this is part of the methodology where basically you charge it up to 100%, but you let it sit there for 3 hours. And that's because when it's sitting up there at 100% and it's still giving the car a little bit of voltage, that's when the car is actually, the BMS is learning, like relearning the 100% how full the actual cells are. So that slow charge rate, the little voltage that's going in, is the BMS recalibrating and relearning what 100% is of each cell. So that way, the BMS can give you a better estimate, more accurate estimate at 100% when you flip it over to the actual mileage number. So then once you've let the car sit at 100% for 3 hours, unplug it and start driving. So you want to try and get it down to under 10% as fast as you can. And it doesn't have to be all in a day, but you want to do it within a week. And once you get it to under 10%, then you want to let it sit for 3 hours. And the idea behind this is you want to let the batteries sit at a low self-discharge rate. The BMS tracks energy in and out, so by discharging the battery super low, it gives the BMS measurements to calibrate the cells against. So I did try it in my car, of course, and the end result was it gave a little bit of battery back, but I wouldn't say it was really a super successful test. By doing the process, it only added a few more miles, so maybe next time if I really got super low, maybe like 3% and let it sit there, maybe it would be more impactful. So I suppose the moral of the story is, if it's really bothering you that your battery is not calibrated correctly at all, then you can give this a try and see if it helps. I'd love to hear about any methods that are successful for you, as I know that my battery needs to be recalibrated better, and it just bothers me that I'm looking at this low number that I know isn't correct. So let me know your methods in the comments, and thanks for watching.